Hi, I'm Angela from TheJoyHut, Holistic Mind, Body and Energy Coaching. I just wanted to share some information with you in regards to some great tools that I use personally in my life, but also in the life of my clients and just generally people that I really care about. So I find that coming into the new year and coming into particularly the different dynamics that occur within a family, such as your little one starting school for the first time, which is something that is happening in my immediate life. So all of these emotions have been coming through thick and fast, especially with the ending of the 9-year cycle from the last 2016, coming into a new cycle of 9 years of a universal year of 1 for 2017. So this is all about, while we're still destructing a lot of the old patterns, the old thought processes, the old emotions that may have been stuck within the body, this is also bringing forth the new beginnings of some very exciting things. So it's important to align ourselves with not only the universal energy, but your own personal energy and what it is that you want to co-create from this point onwards, because that's going to affect the next 9 years. So I find that a lot of the tools that I use really help to process a lot of the emotions and the thought processes that go on that are co-creating those emotions. Your body is constantly talking to you in regards to the gifts that it gives you through these emotions, and what I am finding is that it's very helpful to use a tool in particular that is called Emotional Freedom Technique, which is EFT or tapping. So you might have seen a lot of sportsmen, especially in America at the moment, really getting into this tool, and it is very similar to what we would call psychological acupuncture. So it uses the meridians that are running in your energy system. The meridians are the channels in which the energy is dispersed into different parts of the body. So if there's any blockages in those meridians, what actually happens is that the body can't function too well, because it's not getting all of the chi, it's not getting all the power that it needs to even function on a daily basis biologically, but also on an energetic level, because it's all interconnected within our systems. So with tapping, we tap on certain meridian points in which it helps desensitize the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that actually is in charge of the emotional response. So if you have a fight, flight, or even freeze response or reaction to a situation that occurs in your life, this is a very helpful tool in order to feel like you're getting into a place of safety as you're taking the steps to grow from an old way of being into a more preferred way of living and creating your life. So what I want to do today is I want to focus on all of the mums and dads out there that are actually feeling a little bit vulnerable on and off. I know I am, in regards to the dropping off of the kids in the first day of school. I've just come back from dropping off my son, and surprisingly doing pretty good this morning, but I think that utilizing this tool that's actually something that I do on a daily basis has really helped with that as well. So it's great to also teach your children. I use it with my son all the time, and he finds it quite easy to use as well, and it's something that can empower anybody in your family, any of your friends, and I really encourage you to share some more information about it. It may seem simple and a little bit woohoo at the beginning, but once you actually start to begin to see the effects of how effective it actually is, and how it can create change within your own life, you will realize how powerful it is, because it essentially changes at that brain level. So we are reteaching the brain, and we are imprinting things on the brain as we do this as well, so that we're destructing and building at the same time within our own system, our nervous system, our energy system, and everything else that follows on from that. So you will even find physical changes can often occur with the tapping. So I want to run you through just some emotions in regards to the starting of school for a lot of moms and dads out there. And then you can also practice this with the kids if they have any anxieties that come up during the next few weeks, if they're tired and exhausted, because I know that it's all very exciting and new for them as well. So you can utilize this tool for those kind of things. And if you want to know any more information about how to use it or any of the research behind EFT, there's so much out there now, and you can pop over to my website at www.TheJoyHut.com.au, and you'll find different resources there that you can read up on. You can pop me an email, you can give me a call, and I'm happy to help in any way that I can to support you and your families. So with the process, I'm going to run you through exactly the steps of doing the EFT, and you can adjust to whatever it is that you're feeling, but I encourage you just to tap along with me and get the sense of what your body is feeling like before and what your body's feeling like after. So we have all these points that are on mostly the top half of our body that we utilize. There are 8 meridian points, and we also have the karate chop point, which is this point here where it's on the lateral side of your palm. So this point here is what we're going to use for what we call a setup statement. So the setup statement looks something like this. Even though I'm feeling really worried about my child going to school, and I hope that they're okay, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. So what we do is we say that 3 times, and then we will go through the other points. So I'm just going to do it, and then if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to contact me. So we're going to use different emotions like anxiety, frustration that maybe the child doesn't want to get ready, because I know that I had a bit of a hissy fit from my son just from wearing covered shoes this morning. So sometimes we do anything to try to control the situation a little bit. So I want you to just sit for a moment and think about how it is that if you have a child that's gone to school today, how it is for you and how it's feeling for you, and how that's sitting in your body. So it might look something like, I have this feeling of fear or worry, and I get this flutter in my chest, because that's what I had yesterday. So I want you to think about how intense that is for you, because we're going to rate it out of 10. So 10 being like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to die. 1 being that it really hardly affects you at all. So just, if you'd close your eyes, pop into your body for a moment, take a deep breath, and just sense how you're feeling. And just paying attention to all the sensations in your body. And whatever those feelings are that you're feeling, I'd like you now to just imagine if it had an intensity level out of 10, what number would represent that feeling that you're feeling right now? And just make a note of that. Sense the textures and the colours of those feelings, and where they're located in your body. And making a note of that number out of 10, so that we have a measurement point that we can use following our sequence. And now that you've done that, what I want you to do is just follow along with me. Even though I have this feeling, and I feel it right there in that spot, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Even though I feel really worried that my child is going to school, and I hope that he's okay, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Even though I feel anxious and I can't wait to find out if he's okay, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. So what I want you to do now is we're going to head to the first point, which is the midline of your eyebrow, just at the tip there, and just start tapping a few times and repeat after me a reminder phrase. This feeling in my body. Outside of eye, this feeling in my body. Under the eye, as you focus on that feeling, just on the cheekbone there, this worry that I'm feeling. Under the nose, I'm feeling really worried about my child's first day. On the chin, all these feelings bubbling up in my body now. On the collarbone, so on the collarbone is just under that, the collarbone there in the fleshy part. There's a bit of a sore spot on your chest. So it's sort of as if you were to draw a line from the clavicle all the way down to your armpit diagonally, and it's about halfway. This feeling that I feel, all this anxiety, worrying about my child, under the arm now. These feelings that I shouldn't be feeling, maybe. Top of the head. I'm such a sook. He's going to be okay, but I'm really sooky and scared. Eyebrow point. I feel really anxious today. Outside of eye, and I just want to know that he's okay. Under the eye. This feeling that's still in my body. Under the nose. What if he's not okay? On the chin. What if he's crying? On the collarbone. I just want to know he's fine. Under the arm. I hope he makes some friends. On the top of the head. I shouldn't be feeling these feelings. I'm being silly. I'm being a sook. Eyebrow point. This feeling that I feel right there in my body, in that spot. Just focusing on that feeling and how intense it is for you still. I want this feeling to go away. Under the eye. I want to let it go. Under the nose. Processing and releasing this feeling now with ease and grace. On the chin. But it's really hard. I can't get rid of it. On the collarbone. I want this feeling to go away. Under the arm. But what if he's not okay? All of this worry that I feel. Top of the head. Maybe I'm just being stupid. Eyebrow point. I can't wait for the end of the day. Outside of eye. I can't concentrate on anything right now. Under the eye. Except the feeling that I have about the first day of school. Under the nose. My baby's growing up. On the chin. And I don't want my baby to grow up. On the collarbone. I want him to stay little and cute forever. Under the arm. But he has to grow up. I can't stop that. Top of the head. But what does that mean for me as his mum or dad? What's my role now? My baby doesn't need me anymore. That feeling right there. With the thought that my baby doesn't need me anymore. What does that mean? What do I do? I accept these feelings and process them now, releasing them with ease and grace, perhaps with just a single breath. Perhaps it's that easy. What if it was that easy? Okay, now I'd like you to actually take a nice deep breath in and close your eyes. And just start to begin to notice where that feeling was located before we began the sequence. And notice how the intensity has changed now. And you might find sometimes the intensity increases for a little while, and that's great because that means that you're focusing on that feeling and the real issue even more. So if it intensifies, and then if you keep going with the tapping, it'll actually start to drop off again. So what you want to do as you open your eyes now, after you've rated out of 10 what the feeling is like now, I want you to keep going with the sequence: eyebrow, inner eyebrow, outside of eye, under nose, on the chin, on the collarbone, under the arm, and the top of the head, as a reminder phrase when you have finished your setup statement. So setup statement for 3 times. Even though I'm feeling whatever it is, fill in the blanks, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And it doesn't matter what you actually say. What matters is that you're focusing on your truth, which is the problem that is in the mind, in the consciousness that we want to bring out. Okay? So set up statement 3 times, then you're going to go to each of the meridian points and tap on the meridian points for a few rounds until you begin to feel it drop. And when you get to the intensity level of between 0 and 2, you've done an excellent job with really desensitizing that amygdala part of the brain, in which your emotions will start to flatline and you'll actually begin to get out of that fight, flight, freeze response, so that you're increasing the parasympathetic activity, the relaxation response of your nervous system, and you're decreasing the sympathetic activity within your nervous system. So that's the fight, flight, or freeze, the stress point, right? So whether you use this for emotions, stress levels, feeling completely overwhelmed, it doesn't matter what you use it for, because I love the technique in the fact that you can use it for anything. And it's such a simple technique, but when you actually practice it, 2 minutes a day, for example, just on how you're feeling for that day, it won't take more than 4 or 5 days to actually begin to really know the effects of this, right? So I find that it's very helpful for children, particularly young children, and there is no limits to how you can tap, what you say. If you have any issues about, maybe, I might not be saying the right thing, then essentially what I suggest to a lot of people is just write down how you're feeling. Get a piece of paper and scribble without thinking all of the things that are on your mind, the things that keep you up at night, and just scribble it down. And then all you do when you read that is to access, well, if I'm actually thinking like this and feeling like this, what is the real feeling that brings up for me? What's the real emotion that's behind all of that? How does reading that and knowing that is what I believe is true, how does that sit with me? How does that make me feel? If I was to believe this, of what I've just written down, what would that part of me have to feel in order to believe that? Or what would that part of me have to believe in order to feel that this was true? And then you just fill in the blanks. So set up statement: even though I'm feeling whatever you're feeling, I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself, 3 times. Then reminder phase on all of the tapping points, a few rounds, and the reminder phase can be even, I don't know what I'm feeling. It can be just this feeling. It can be just all of this anger, all of this anxiety. And you can just say the same thing over each of those each of those trigger points as you go. Okay? So as I said, if you have any questions, feel free to message me, call me, however you wish. And to all of the parents out there that actually have their little bubbers growing up, know that you have a great tool now in which can help not only you but also your family, in which if there's any incidences that occur over the next few weeks, use those incidences as practice, as hey, well, what we're going to utilize this new way of being, so that we're creating those small steps to a new you, a small steps to focusing on what it is that you want, and just processing the stuff that's coming up for you that may have been there for years and years and years, because essentially at the end of the day we want to make sure that where our attention goes is on the things that we want, and the way that we want to be, and the life that we want to have, and what we want to create. Because if we're constantly looking in the rear view mirror and trying to get away from something, you cannot think about where you're headed and where you've been at the same time simultaneously. It's like physically impossible. Your brain doesn't work that way. So let's pay attention to our bodies and the messages, and let's pay attention to where we want to go, and teach our children that. So happy school term, everybody, and I shall speak with you very, very soon. Thank you. Ciao.